Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I sort of put it off because I was waiting for a certain announcement, and that certain announcement has already been made. So if you already didn't know, I clicked the wrong button, but it's fine. This works as well. So what I was gonna say is that if you didn't know, wave 2 of Murakumo support is coming out to zero. So because of that, I wanted to do a deck showcase for Murakumo because my deck's actually not that bad. I managed to get the important cards, most of the important cards. So here's my deck, and today it'll be a little bit different. So in this video, I'm simply going to show you what the deck looks like and explain a little bit about it, but I won't be doing a fight with it. Instead, what I'll be doing is I'll be explaining it here in this video, and then in the next video what I'm going to do is have a fight. I'm going to go on ranked taking this deck, and we'll see what Murakumo can do. So yeah, the new support is coming out, but before that, I want to take a look at Murakumo as it is right now, what we can do with it. So here is the deck, and I'll get to explaining it real quick. So this video will hopefully be kind of short, hopefully less than 10 minutes. Unless you guys want longer videos, then I'd like to know, so please inform me. So first of all, I'll introduce Magatsu Storm, the boss monster of this deck. Anyway, so he's part of the Magatsu Ride Chain. This is the grade 1 Magatsu Press. This is the grade 2, which is Magatsu Gale, and finally the grade 3 Magatsu Storm. So he's really good. Murakumo is very good in rushing, and that's thanks to Magatsu Storm. Limit Break 4, Counterblast 2, and this unit gets plus 3000, and from your deck, from outside of your deck, call 2 Magatsu Storms, and they get boost. At the end of the turn, one goes to your hand and the other is banished, or removed from play. Then his other skill is when it attacks, Counter Blast 1, Persona Blast, and from your hand call a Magatsu. So that's really good because it helps with extending attacks, and you'll mostly want to use it in combination with Magatsu Gale. So you'll probably call something else, and then like maybe discard or another like grade 3, maybe like Mandala Lord or something, so you can swing with that unit unboosted, and then call Magatsu Gale when you attack with Magatsu Storm for an additional attack. For the rest of the deck, we have another good card, Shirayuki. So this deck, so while Magatsu Storm is really good with offensive moves, Shirayuki is very good with defense. So you can totally use Shirayuki to stall. When this unit is being attacked, Limit Break 4 by the way, so this is Limit Break restricted, keep that in mind. Counter Blast 1, Persona Blast, and your opponent's, so for that battle, your opponent loses 20,000 attack. So yes, very helpful for stalling. Even with triggers, unless they get like double triggered, then they won't really be able to hit you, especially if they've already hit your Vanguard already and you have extra shield. And her other skill is Vanguard only. Her skill is Vanguard only, by the way, which should be obvious. When placed, Counter Blast 2 from outside of your deck, call 1 Shirayuki, and at the end of the turn, it gets added to your hand. So it's like Magatsu Storm in a way. It can shadow clone itself. Uh, so that's another really good card, which is why we're running 3 copies of her. And of course, Magatsu Storm is at maximum 4 copies, because why not? So, I mean, not why not, because he is the boss monster of the deck. Moving on to our backups. The backup that is the backup to Shirayuki, Mandala Lord. So, what he does is basically the same as Shirayuki, except his is not limit break restricted, and our opponents lose 10,000 attack rather than 20,000. Karma Blast 1 and Persona Blast to affect this to use the skill, that is. Now we have our uh backup Zanbaku, which is actually really good in this era because what he does is Vanguard only. So during your opponent's ride phase, at the start of your opponent's ride phase, they may discard a great if their opponents if their Vanguard is at a grade 3 or higher, they may discard a card from their hand. If they do not discard a card from their hand, for that ride phase, during the ride phase, they cannot normal ride a card. So this really helps with against break ride cards. So they're going to be riding grade 3s on top of grade 3s now. Zanbaku, if you ride Zanbaku, it'll just be really annoying for them. Now they have to get rid of an extra card. Sometimes my opponents have just literally given up break riding just because they don't want to discard that extra card due to Zanbaku's skill. So he is pretty good. Going along with triggers now. Magatsu Storm 4 draw triggers, because drawing is really nice with this deck. You don't really have any other way to draw. Stand triggers, because stand triggers are really good, especially in this deck for multi-attack. Not that great with, not as great as with like Gold Paladins, because Gold Paladins gets more power, but it's fine. Mandala Lord is also our draw, which means that we actually run 5, not draw, stand. So we actually run 5 stand for draw. The remaining is our heal, which is Zanbaku. So, so at the very least, even if we draw Zanbaku and we don't have anything else, at least he can annoy our opponent when they want to break ride. Moving on to the rest of the rest of the cards. We have Magatsu Press for the right chain and Gale for the right chain as well. So what Magatsu Press actually does is when you ride Magatsu Gale on top of him, you can call 2 copies of Magatsu Gale and they both get boost for that. And at the end of the turn, 1 goes to your hand and 1 gets removed from play. Of course, we are running 4 copies of him and 4 copies of Magatsu Gale as well, which has a skill that when you ride Magatsu Storm on top of him, then you can call 2 copies of Magatsu Storm and 1 goes to your hand, 1 gets removed from play at the end of the turn. Also, they acquire boost. So that's why they're really good in rushing. You can just call 2 copies of Magatsu Storm and you have like a 10k booster in the back row. Not only that, but it since 1 goes to your hand, that already helps with his other skill, the Persona Blast. So yeah, you are going to want to pull the right chain off. For the other grade 2s, actually you can run any 10k vanillas. So the reason I'm just running the Hololive cards here are because, well, they're kind of nice. They don't fit very well with the aesthetic, maybe except for Sakura Miko, but yeah, you can run the regular 10k base if you don't have another one. So we're also running this card, 2 copies of him, because he's a Mandala Lord Searcher. So this is like a backup, like in case you really brick. At the very least, you can try to search for Mandala Lord in so that you can do something. Next is Fushimi. He's kind of not really a right target. He's just a good like grade 2 to put down as a rear. But if you don't get any other if you don't get like your other right target, which is definitely Magatsu Gale, if you don't get him, you can just ride Fushimi and take out your opponent's starter, because he can attack Vanguard only. He can attack units that are on the back row. So if they put him behind if they put their starter behind the van, you can take him out with Fushimi if you want. Just another way to annoy your opponent. So we also run 2 copies of this card, just because of his skill, where when in place you can counterblast 1, and then from outside of your deck call 1 rear guard with the same name as like your already existing rear guard. So it's basically shadow cloning one of your other rear guards, and at the end of the turn it is removed from play. So that's just there to help sort of early rush or something like that, or like another option that you can use. So like if you don't have another like grade 2 and you don't really want to call cards from your hand, for example, or something like that, you can use his skill, copy one of your rears, and now you have something to attack with for that turn. It does get removed from play though. Then yeah, of course we have 4 sentinels. That's pretty much it. The rest of the grade 1s, which is our 8k base. For they explain the grade 2s and the 3s. That's all. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys sort of enjoyed that. A little bit much shorter. I know it was like kind of quick. I sort of explained, blazed through an explanation of what the deck does, but anyways, it's alright, because I will be taking it to ranked in a different video and uploading that, and hopefully you guys will be able to see what that deck can really do, what Magatsu Storm can really do right now before the new Murakumo support comes. So yeah, Murakumo is really good, especially since it can rush. So thanks for watching. I hope this sort of inspired you guys to work on Murakumo when the event comes out as well. And yeah, see you guys. I forgot again, but at the start of the video, usually I'd go ride the Vanguard, but I did forget. Anyways, at least I remembered at the end, by the end of the video. So if you guys are ready, sorry about it. 3, 2, 1, stand up, the Vanguard. Alright, see you guys in the next video.